Alright, without further ado, let's unbox the Sony A7R V. Now, apologies if my voice sounds a bit hoarse. I've actually been getting over a cold the past few days, but we will not let that stop us here from this unboxing. So, let's get into it. Alright, so it looks like the very first thing that you're going to get here is a little HDMI clamp. Essentially the same thing that you would get with the A7S III or the A1. Not really too much to talk about there, so we'll put that aside. As we open up the top here, I can see a couple of things. So we have both the general set of manuals that come with the camera. And I can see the little AC power adapter cord that's going to be used for the battery charger, which I guess we'll talk about in a bit. Okay, so now we get some of the good stuff. Here we have the actual battery charger. So this is the Sony BCQZ1. This is basically their standard battery charger that you find with all of their other cameras that use the NPFC100 batteries. Cameras like the A7S III, the A1, obviously the A7R V here, they're going to come with the BCQZ1 charger, but some of Sony's more affordable Alpha series cameras like the A7 IV actually don't come with the charger, and only come with a cable to charge the battery in camera, so interesting point of note. Here we have the USB cable, so USB Type-A to USB Type-C. So pretty much what you're going to use to essentially charge the camera if you wanted to charge the battery within it, or if you wanted to connect it to your computer to use as a USB webcam, or just in general to connect it to any computer. You have the camera strap, the official Sony A7R V camera strap, which not sure how many people actually use the official Sony camera strap, but it exists, it's a thing. We have the actual Sony NPFC100 battery, so looks like a pretty standard Sony battery that you're going to find with all their other similar Alpha cameras. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. And of course we have the actual A7R V. Alright, let me get a little organized here and then we'll open this up. Alright, so now we have the A7R V here, and let's actually take a look at it. Okay, well, just taking a look at it. Of course, maybe the first thing I'm really curious to see here is this flip screen, which is really, really unique here. Kind of already having some fun playing with the different articulation options that you can do. Really cool to see Sony innovating in this space. So this is a really interesting design. Obviously, it lets you kind of do the typical flip screen, you know, orientation that you would find, but of course the big difference here is being able to, let's say if we flip this around this way and have it facing out, we can do a tilt with it, just like we were able to do with Sony's previous cameras that only had a tilt screen, say like my A7 III that has it, the A1, the A7R IV, etc. And you can really get the screen a good amount out from the body here, so that is interesting to see. But I'll fold that up for now. Basically, just feeling this in the hands, this definitely feels kind of just like the A7S III and the A7 IV had a baby. Very, very, very similar to each other. Really not any major differences that I can tell, just from holding it in the hands. If we look at the ports on the left-hand side, you're going to see pretty much the same ports that you would find again in the A7S III, A7 IV, with the addition of a flash sync port, so that is one potential change. Otherwise, headphone, mic in, HDMI, USB-C, so very similar ports and I/O. So along the right-hand side, you're going to have, in this case, 2 card slots. Different from the A7 IV though, in this case, these will both be UHS-2 and CF Express Type-A card slots, so not just one with CF Express Type-A support. Along the back of the camera, really not too many differences here. Buttons feel very much the same placement of everything. Very much the same orientation, the same kind of feel of the buttons. Along the top here, you now also have the programmable wheel that you can use that isn't necessarily locked towards exposure compensation like it was before, so that's nice. You do have, in this case, the mode dial, so very much similar again to the A7 IV, though if there is one difference from the A7 IV, you do have the button in the middle, much like on the A7S III or the other R series cameras in the past. So you do have to hold this button down in order to move and adjust the wheel so you don't accidentally adjust it or knock into it. And so very similar to Sony's other new bodies, of course, with maybe one exception being the 4-axis vari-angle tilt screen. Alright, now normally when I do this main angle here, I use my Sony A7S III, which is a fantastic camera, especially so for video. So I'm actually just curious to see what this angle would look like with the A7R V, basically getting the same shot, but doing so with a 61 megapixel sensor. So let's swap these cameras out and see what this angle looks like with the A7R V. And we've now switched to shot. So this is the A7R V, whether you can tell the difference or not. So that's an unboxing and some of my first impressions of the A7R V. Hopefully this video has been of some help to you. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if it has. A lot more to cover on the A7R V in the coming weeks, so definitely let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. For now, that is all I have to say. So thanks for watching.